Well, welcome back to Ljubljana in Slovenia for the final session of the ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup. It's race 3 and it's now extreme canoe slalom time. So the newest addition to this ICF Canoe Slalom programme. Myself, Andy Maddock, will keep you up to date with all the action, and alongside me, I'm pleased to say, from the Australian team, Rosalind Lawrence. Welcome to the commentary box.
Thank you, good afternoon. I'm excited for the action on the water today.
So if you're new to the sport of extreme canoe slalom, well, let's talk you through the basics. It's basically head-to-head racing, isn't it? And a bit of a dog-eat-dog kind of activity.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see 4 boats going down the course at once, starting on a ramp, and it's a bit like bumper cars out there. The strongest may survive, but you never know what's going to happen.
So we're down to the quarterfinals. We're starting off with the men's quarterfinals, and 4 quarterfinals. And in each of the quarterfinals, up to 4 boats will start, but it's 3 boats in each for this point, and the top 2 will go through. And I would suggest that we'll talk you through the rules as we get underway.
Yeah, we've got some interesting features. There's a compulsory roll, we've got up gates, we've got down gates, but it's a bit of a simplified format in terms of the course compared to the slalom we had earlier today.
Well, here are our first competitors for this first quarter-final. And it's Fredrik Vahlund of Sweden, wearing bib number 2, featuring first. And there's Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, wearing bib number 1. Well, he was silver medal last week in Bratislava in this event. And he's normally fearsomely fast. And certainly he came out top in the time trial that gets the seeding on each of these quarter-final rounds.
Yeah, we'll find it's a bit different with each course, but getting that top seed means sometimes you might have a bit of an edge on the start and get ahead of the other competitors.
Well, I'm not sure if he got a false start there, but it's certainly Pedro Goncalves of Brazil leading the way through gate 1, followed by Fredrik Vahlund of Sweden. And let's talk through the course. So basically, it's a bit like slalom, but they have to do the right side of the downstream gates and then either one of the upstream gates. So gate 4 you'll see is a red gate, and each of the athletes has to go around that. Then we're into the roll zone. Pedro Goncalves leading for Brazil through the roll zone. And well, it was Fredrik Vahlund. Did he do a full 360-degree roll there?
Look, I hope so.
Well, not quite sure. And here we have a great camera angle on the next upstream gate.
Oh, and we've got a bit of a stopper surf there for Fredrik, but I don't know if everyone's done all the gates, so he might still come out in second.
So, well, certainly the first to finish is Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, better known as Pepe. He was silver medalist last weekend in this event. And then in second place, it looks like Maxim Shabanov of the Russian Federation. And then in third place, squeezed out in that hole under the bridge, it's Fredrik Vahlund of Sweden. So provisionally through into the semi-final, Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, Maxim Shabanov of Russia. And well, Pedro got a really good start there, and he didn't really get interfered with, but was that a false start?
I think that's for the judges to call, but he's a very strong paddler. Even without that head start, he might have still taken the lead.
Well, certainly not too much contact, but there was a bit of contact at the bottom part of the course, fighting it out on the second of the 2 upstream red gates.
Look, upstream gate 5, it's right in the middle of a stopper, and there's certainly going to be a bit of action if all the athletes are coming in at once. We just saw with these last 3 that they all chose to do up right gate 4 and no one chose to do up left. And the more athletes we have in that eddy at once, the more interesting the results are going to be.
Yeah, I'd agree, Ros, and certainly the upstream gate 4, the other one, because you can do either, you can choose the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Looks quite a long way round to get across to that.
Yeah. So seeing the footage there, I'm not sure that Shabanov went through gate 5. Did he come back for it?
Well, it's interesting because now you mention it, it does look like here is the final result, and good observation there. Pedro Goncalves is through to the semi-final, but it is Maxim Shabanov is eliminated because he didn't do that upstream. So Fredrik Vahlund of Sweden is through into the semi-final. So next quarter-final, Christian Dionigi, Martin Stanovsky and Trevor Boyd are racing it out, but only 2 of them will proceed through to the next round. So wearing bib number 3, Trevor Boyd for Canada.
We know there's lots of great natural water in Canada.
Next, wearing bib number 1, Christian Dionigi of Italy, and he was very strong. He got the silver medal in the first World Cup of the season in this event in Lee Valley. And then looking very calm, Martin Stanovsky for Kazakhstan, wearing bib number 2.
Christian's been here coaching some of the Chinese paddlers this week, so I think he'll have some good insight into where the fast lines are.
Well, and the Italians have had a storming weekend here. 3 golds out of the 4 events so far. And, well, it's an early advantage to bib number 2. So, well, looks like going to form at the moment.
Which upstream will they choose?
It'll be interesting. Well, they're all piling into the River Right upstream, and, well, bit of contact there for sure. And the order has changed. So the order has changed as a result of the upstream, and that means Christian Dionigi of Italy goes into the lead at this stage of the competition. In and out nicely on this tricky little upstream gate 5, and then followed, I think, by Martin Stanovsky.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes being in the lead in the first upstream is a disadvantage when somebody else stacks in on top of you and stops you getting the speed on the exit.
You're right, but it's clearly straight into the semi-final for Christian Dionigi. Martin Stanovsky of Kazakhstan goes into second place, and it would appear that Trevor Boyd of Canada eliminated at this stage of the competition, but just waiting for confirmation of the result. Well, there's confirmation of the winner. Christian Dionigi is through into the semi-finals.
He'll be happy with that, I think.
Well, yes, I think he got a good start, but look, he shot off in the wrong direction, the buoyancy of the boat, and as you say, Ros, it was actually Stanovsky that had the early lead, but it all changed in that first upstream gate. By the time they got to the bottom here, they were pretty much settled into the order, and it was a comfortable qualification through into the semi-final. Trevor Boyd, unfortunately, got a little bit squeezed out on the first gate and never really got back into the race.
Now, can you fill me in? I know sometimes the paddlers can't help barging into each other a little bit, but you're not allowed to make contact deliberately with your paddle, are you?
No, those are the rules, and the judge's decision is final as well. So it's supposedly a non-contact sport in the sense that you're not allowed to use your paddle as a weapon, but actually contacting within reason, I think, with a boat is acceptable. But it's basically deemed, if it's unsporting behaviour, then I think that warrants disqualification. So halfway through the men's quarter-finals, and we will be underway very shortly with the second half of the draw in the men's quarter-finals. Here it is. We've got Hradlek of the Czech Republic, Ben Hayward of Canada, and Simon Oven of Slovenia. Will be an interesting battle, and of course it was Hradlek of the Czech Republic who took gold last weekend in Bratislava, and this is right up his street.
Yeah, Vavra's no stranger to the extreme slalom. Any format, I think he'll take on the river and take on the competitors. We've got a local favourite from Slovenia. There's a great crowd today.
Yeah, you can hear you can always tell when the Slovenians are about to go, because the noise ramps up. So then Ben Hayward, wearing bib number 2.
I spoke to Ben a few minutes ago. He said he's not excited about the compulsory roll. Wishes that wasn't part of it, but I'm sure he'll do a great job of it anyway.
Well, in this temperature, I would have thought they'd be looking forward to it. Vavra Hradlek then wearing bib number 1 for the Czech Republic as they prepare to start. Well, we're racing, and it is Hradlek that gets the early lead. Ben Hayward gets a bit squeezed out in the middle for Canada, but he has gone into second place. But Hradlek has missed the first gate. So it is advantage Ben Hayward at this early stage in the competition. Simon Oven of Slovenia in second, and Vavra Hradlek would be a favourite to get into the final. Is going to have to do something special if he's going to progress in the competition.
Well, Simon has had to loop back around for gate 4 quickly. Vavra's still in with a bit of a chance, but it might come down to gate 5, see what happens there.
So Ben Hayward out in front, and now coming towards this upstream gate 5, and comfortably through, so out of danger there. Simon Oven of Slovenia again comfortably through gate 5, and now Vavra Hradlek has caught up. He's made up some time, but he will get eliminated at this stage of the competition, and that's quite a surprise for the gold medalist from the second race in the World Cup and fourth in the first race in the World Cup. But Ben Hayward, no doubt there, he goes through into the semi-final for Canada.
Look, Ben did a great job despite being sort of second off the start. He kept his cool, and gate 1, 2 is actually kind of tricky, particularly if the other paddlers get in the way.
Yeah, you see Ben Hayward got squeezed at the start, didn't he? The two paddlers squeezed him out, but as you say, he kept it cool, kept it calm, and then he capitalised on that mistake from Vavra Hradlek, who took a very direct line to gate 1, but too direct.
It can be quite tricky off the start ramp. If you get stuck in the middle, there's no space to put your paddle in the water, and the other boats will end up in the lead.
Oh, I love this camera angle on the upstream gate 5. You get a real sense of just how much they're having to work with the white water to get round that gate. Here we have Vavra Hradlek leading the way towards gate 1, but suddenly realising that he's being pushed wide.
That same stopper took a lot of scalps in the slalom earlier today as well.
Well, we talked earlier on today that this course doesn't respect anybody's reputations. It's in fact, it can be a real leveller. And well, it's certainly done that with Vavra Hradlek, because here is the confirmation of the results of the third quarter-final. Ben Hayward for Canada and Simon Oven of Slovenia through to the semi-final and eliminated, a big surprise at this stage, Vavra Hradlek of the Czech Republic. So Slovenian crowd will be pleased. Representative through into the semi-final.
Yes, they're one of the most enthusiastic home crowds I've seen. Every time we have a race here, it's wonderful to see them.
Oh, and they'd be pretty happy. They've won 3 silver medals over the course of the last couple of days. Only the Italians spoiling the Slovenian party, really.
The Italians have a selection here each year, so they're very familiar with the course as well.
So this is the fourth and final quarter-final round, and in lane 2, Yves Bourri is on course. There he is, wearing bib number 2. And Stefan Hengst of Germany wearing bib number 1, and we just missed introducing bib number 3, Matic Tercel of Slovenia.
Matic's sister Eva was racing in the slalom.
Yeah, one of those. She got the silver medal, didn't she, in the women's kayak category. Stefan Hengst, though, off to a great start for Germany. Then it is Matic Tercel in second place, and then at the back of the pack at the moment, Yves Bourri of Senegal. But they're all pretty tight, and this is where it can all change.
Well, it's nearly a smooth teams run at the moment.
It's all very civilised at the moment. So Stefan Hengst goes for his roll for Germany, and comfortably through now as he approaches the upstream gate 5 under the bridge here. Then it's bib number 3, Matic Tercel of Slovenia. Cole comfortably through, and it looks like Yves Bourri has parted company. Needs a bit more practice with his rolling skills.
I saw him going for the C1 roll with his K1 paddler. He paddles C1 slalom, so maybe he's a bit uncomfortable with that extra blade.
Well, that will eliminate him from the competition at this stage, and in fact I think it looks like he's just being helped out of the water by one of his fellow competitor there, so being given a lift to the side by Matic Tercel. It's Stefan Hengst goes through first into the semi-final, There we have confirmation. And then second place goes to Matic Tercel of Slovenia.
It's much cooler in the water anyway.
Well, yes, you can imagine Yves Bourri will be quite enjoying a bit of a refreshing swim. There's certain places that you wouldn't want to swim, but I don't think you mind it. Certainly middle of this week, a lot of people were in and out of the water to just try and keep cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely ducking in for a swim in between slalom runs.
So is that still the case for the Australians as well, or do you just think, what are all these Europeans complaining about?
No, we definitely like to use strategies to stay cool. It feels like home. I guess we're comfortable with the heat, but we like to manage it.
Well, it's crystal clear water here on the River Sava, freshly sort of mountain fed from the end of the Alps here. And yeah, it's a really nice temperature, isn't it? Easy to cool down.
Yeah, it's perfect. Very chilly, but not unbearably cold.
So there's Yves Bourri just getting a little bit of a lift across to the edge of the course. So a good bit of sportsmanship there going on. But it is Stefan Hengst of Germany that wins this fourth quarter-final and books his place in that semi-final. There it is, confirmation. Yves Bourri eliminated from the competition at this quarter-final stage, and Hengst of Germany, Tercel of Slovenia through into the semi-final. So I always like the fact that here in Darlington there's lots of shade, so the spectators always, you know, they stay all day, but as the day goes on, the shade sort of retreats up the grandstand, and so too do the spectators.
Yeah, well, it's definitely worth staying cool. It's a really good setup here. I love the amphitheatre feel and the drama of the drop for the slalom to start with, or that ramp for the extreme slalom.
So here's confirmation of the what we've just seen. The first semi-final will feature Goncalves, De Dionigi, and it will also feature Ben Hayward and Simon Owen. And then his second semi-final, there it is. So we'll be up next with the semi-final shortly, but first up will be the women's K1 semi-finals. So a smaller number of entries in this, straight into semi-finals. 3 boats again, racing in each of the 2 semi-finals, but only 2 spots on each semi-final will go through into the final. So here's the overview. Ashley Nee of the United States of America, Martina Wegman, Ida Novak, Caroline Trompeter, Hayley Daniels and Daria Kuznetsova.
Yeah, we've got some really strong competitors here. Martina Wegman has won all sorts of extreme races around the world. Ashley Nee is super strong. Ada Novak knows this water like the back of her hand. She's the local.
Well, it's been an interesting start. So here is the first of the semi-finals. Ashley Nee wearing bib number 1 for the United States of America. That's seeded based on a time trial earlier on in the week. So she was the fastest, so she gets to choose the lane. But here's Ida Novak of Slovenia. And, well, the local fans will be supporting her and making some noise. Next up, Martina Wegman of the Netherlands, wearing bib number 2. Do you know what that means? The helmet bit? Does that mean it's going to get brutal?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it'll get brutal. But she might have been pointing at the sticker on her helmet, maybe a sponsor. Maybe.
Ashley Nee then for the United States of America, wearing bib number 1. And we're racing. Ashley Nee gets well, she holds on to the advantage, but it is Ida Novak.
She's gone for the overtake.
Has just carried on her own, because Ashley Nee and Martina Wegman were having their own little battle there.
Both started with a bit of a submarine move off the ramp, which doesn't help.
And so it is advantage Slovenia at this stage. Then it is Ashley Nee of the United States, and then Martina Wegman at the moment is in the elimination zone. But is this the point where she steals it?
Oh, she nearly made the sneaky inside turn there.
So while she might still be ahead of Ashley Nee, certainly she has. Well, they've gone over together, so this is going to be close. It is still Ida Novak now ahead as they go into the upstream gate 5, and it looks like Martina Wegman had taken the advantage.
Oh, we've got some carnage going on here.
And it is Martina Wegman who goes in ahead of Ashley Nee, and Ashley Nee, who won the World Cup 2, third in World Cup 1, may well be eliminated at this stage.
Yeah, unfortunately she just washed off the back of the stopper there in gate 5 and took her quite a while to get back into the gate.
So Slovenia's Ida Novak goes through into the final. She's the winner of the first semi-final, and Martina Wegman of the Netherlands looks like she is second.
Well, the Slovenians will be happy with that, I'm sure.
So yeah, strong noise from behind us in the grandstand. And well, the Slovenian fans were rewarded earlier on. The Kauza army were in town, and they didn't go home disappointed.
It was so exciting hearing them cheering. They've got this huge flag that they put over their heads. I remember in previous years they've even had a war siren of some kind, like an air raid siren that they've had going.
Yes, yeah. And that used to travel around with Peter as well. Wherever you went, it tended to come around. But here, gate 4, there was a lot of action, but the order didn't change. But it was down the bottom of the course where Ashley Nee got squeezed out by the experience of Martina Wegman and eliminated the United States of America.
I think Ashley might have hurt her shoulder a little bit in her slalom run yesterday, so...
She was holding it when she finished, almost after the finish. It looked like she injured it when she went over the finish line and then took a big hit in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not too bad if she's still doing the extreme slalom, but it could have held her back a little bit.
Yeah. So that's the moment. Martina Wegman booked her place in the final. So there's Ida Novak, winner of the first of the semi-finals. Martina Wegman holding on. Ashley Nee very nearly got in there and sneaked around, but it wasn't to be. So the result there, Ida Novak, Martina Wegman through to the final. Ashley Nee of the United States eliminated at this stage in the competition. So there'll be a new winner. Just a case of who will it be. So here's the second semi-final of the women's extreme canoe slalom. Caroline Trompeter of Germany, Haley Daniels of Canada, and Daria Kuznetsova of the Russian Federation. And there we have it, bib number 3, Daria Kuznetsova. And well, it worked there for Ida Novak, that line. It'll be interesting to see whether anyone else can convert that. Haley Daniels of Canada, wearing bib number 2. And then wearing bib number 1, Caroline Trompeter of Germany. So who's your favourite for this round?
Look, we've seen Stefan Hengst make it through with his German strength. I think Caroline might do the same, but I know the other two girls are very tough competitors, but maybe not helping each other at the moment.
Yeah, well, they've given the opportunity to Caroline because she's gone straight out into the race lead. Caroline Trompeter of Germany. Then it is Daria Kuznetsova of the Russian Federation in second place. And then in third place, squeezed out, is the blue boat of Haley Daniels of Canada.
Haley does a lot of great natural rivers in Canada, so she's got good feeling for the water.
Oh, and will she steal
in for
it?
a chance here.
Oh, it looked like she was going to steal a place, but she certainly got back into the mix. But it's still Trompeter of Germany leading the way in the second semi-final. Just 2 places up for grabs in the final.
And Haley is charging. She's not going to let this get away with her without a fight.
Well, the glory move. It was
above the gate.
Looking there. Haley Daniels trying to steal it on the move, but it isn't going to be. So it is Daria Kuznetsova will finish second. And then it is Haley Daniels of Canada who will be eliminated at this stage of the competition. There's our winner of this semi-final, Caroline Trompeter of Germany. And then second place, Daria Kuznetsova of the Russian Federation. And Haley Daniels missed gate 5, so eliminated at this stage of the competition.
So we'll see Caroline, Daria, Martina and Ida in the final.
That should be an interesting showdown, that.
It's going to get exciting.
And especially I think with the 4 boats, then particularly that upstream gate 4 I can't see anyone wanting to do the left-hander upstream gate 4.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'd rather do up left than in the eddy with all 4 people at once.
So there we see the start that gave Caroline Trompeter the advantage that she didn't look back from. And Kuznetsova and Daniels fought it out all the way down. And it was Kuznetsova who came out on top.
I wonder if they tell each other on the start line which side of the up they're going for.
Oh, but I wonder if they start dummying it. I wonder if
they say one side and go for the other.
I did a race, I remember, in New Zealand where on the Kaituna River, and the only deal was that you had to go the opposite side to whatever the person in front of you went. Because it was a big waterfall, and when you got there, everybody just went down the left and just landed on top of each other. So sometimes the rules, doesn't matter what people say, but they'll ignore that.
It's a beautiful river, the Kaituna.
It certainly is. So that's the completion of the women's extreme canoe slalom semi-finals. And we'll get confirmation in a moment of the lineup for that women's extreme slalom final, and that will follow on from the men's extreme slalom semi-finals, which will be up next. There we have it. Caroline Trompeter confirmed into the final alongside Daria Kuznetsova of the Russian Federation, and unfortunately for Canada's Hayley Daniels, eliminated at this stage of the competition.
The world champs in extreme slalom are going to be in Prague this year, aren't they?
They will, and I think that'll be a really good spectacle. I think it's a good course for doing the extreme slalom, and there'll be a big crowd, and well, we look forward to that competition.
Yeah, the Czechs know how to put on a show, and I think that time of the year will be better. We'll see like a lot of slalom paddlers joining the extreme slalom ranks.
Oh, that'd be good, because certainly it'd be good to get a few more women's kayak paddlers into the extreme slalom, and just bring another round into the event, bring a quarter-final. But here we are, we're straight into the men's extreme canoe slalom semi-final. 2 semi-finals and only just 4 places up for grabs in the final. So the first of those semi-finals will be contested by Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, Christian Di Diogenigi of Italy, Martin Stanovsky of Kazakhstan, and Maxim Shabanov of the Russian Federation. And here they are lining up. And wearing number 4, Maxim Shabanov of the Russian Federation. So we're going to have 4 boats racing down together, and I suspect that upstream gate 4 could potentially end up a bit congested.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see both the upstreams 4 and 5.
So Martin Stanovsky for Kazakhstan, wearing bib number 3. Then Christian Di Dionigi of Italy, wearing bib number 2. Silver medalist for the first World Cup race of the season. And then wearing bib number 1, Pedro Goncalves of Brazil.
All of these paddlers know how to put on a show.
Well, there's not a lot off the start, and it looks like Di Dionigi of Italy has got the early advantage. He has ahead of Goncalves of Brazil.
He's going to have to keep fighting to maintain that advantage. They're all pretty close so far.
Then it's Martin Stanovsky of Kazakhstan, and yeah, they're all going to pile into the upstream gate 4. This will be interesting to see if anyone does the other option. They do.
We have 1 paddler in the up left.
And it's worked, actually.
Pepe is coming into second now.
So it's Di Dionigi of Italy leading the way ahead of Goncalves of Brazil. Then it's Stanovsky of Kazakhstan. And then finally the Shabanov of the Russian Federation. But there's a bit of a battle going on, but it is.
Goncalves done well to maintain the lead, but I don't know what the order is after that.
I think Goncalves of Brazil is second, and in that battle between Pedro Goncalves and Martin Stanovski of Kazakhstan, it was Goncalves that came out on top, and Martin Stanovski ended up 4th place. So provisionally, Christian De Dionigi for Italy through into the final, and alongside him, Pedro Goncalves of Brazil. So it all came to a head in the upstream gate 5, but I have to say, that was deceptive, that upstream gate 4. That upstream left, I didn't think people would take that option, but it seemed to work.
Yeah, look, I think it's a bit more difficult to get into the eddy, but it's definitely faster doing the up if there's no one else in the eddy. You don't have to worry about someone knocking your nose offline and spinning you around. You get a bit more speed on the exit to overtake and take that into the compulsory roll section.
So you're watching the Extreme Canoe Slalom live from Ljubljana in Slovenia. I'm Andy Maddock, and alongside me is Rosalind Lawrence, and we're into the sharp end of racing. Up next will be the women's kayak Extreme Slalom final, and we still have the second of the men's kayak semi-finals to come. Well, this might give us the shot we wanted. So Goncalves of Brazil, and that was the battle between Goncalves and Stanovski, and Stanovski got dumped out of the back.
Yeah, we've seen the second and fourth paddlers just washing off the stopper. Unfortunately, that's not the ideal line if you want to overtake.
No, it's high risk, and it didn't work on that occasion. But there, bib number 2, Christian De Dionigi of Italy through into the final. There's confirmation, and Christian De Dionigi and Pedro Goncalves through to the final. Maxim Shabanov and Martin Stanovski eliminated at this stage of the competition. And up next will be the second men's kayak semi-final here in the Extreme Canoe Slalom.
Looks like in the next round we're going to have 2 Slovenians competing against each other. That could be interesting.
So it could all be okay if both Slovenians go through, and well, they could end up battling themselves out of a place. We'll have to wait and see. Hengst, Hayward, Alvan and Tercel racing in this, the second semi-final. So
that is an excellent moustache.
Matic Tercel wearing bib number 4, representing Slovenia, just focusing his attention. Then Simon Alvan of Slovenia wearing bib number 3. Then it's Canada's Ben Hayward wearing bib number 2.
He looks pretty cheerful to be on the start line.
And the top seed, based on the time trial, Germany's Stefan Hengst. Playing it cool.
We haven't seen any bicep kisses yet.
And they're racing. And it's an interesting one. Stefan Hengst has got a good start. So too has bib number 4, Matic Tercel. We'll have to wait and see. Certainly Stefan Hengst of Germany gets the early lead. Ben Hayward of Canada in second. Then who is next coming through? Just waiting to see there. Bib number 3, which is Simon Alvan of Slovenia. So at the moment, the 2 Slovenian paddlers are in the elimination zone. It is Germany, then Canada leading the way. So unless there's a drama, then we'll see the local crowd disappointed here. But
and we've had one Slovenia go in above gate 5, forcing Ben Hayward to continue surfing the stopper. Matic hasn't quite made it into the gate 5 yet.
Well, it was a brave move, but it didn't work out, because my reckoning is it's Stefan Hengst of Germany goes through alongside Ben Hayward of Canada and Matic Tercel, and then Simon Alvan of Slovenia eliminated from the competition in the semi-final stage. There's our winner, Stefan Hengst of Germany. Well, you nearly got a bicep kiss there, I think.
Maybe after the final. Well, I'm glad that got interesting in Gate 5. It was much too smooth in Gate 4.
Yes, I would agree. It certainly opened up. Stefan Hengst took the lead at the start and didn't look back.
Now, I know the last 2 weekends there's been a couple of disqualifications due to contact. Is that right? Do you think people are kind of being nice or not taking any risks to avoid those disqualifications?
Yeah, it's interesting because there doesn't seem to be much of a friendship arrangement on Gate 5. I know in Lee Valley there was quite a few face falls, boats in faces, and I think that was more a reflection of some of the big drops there. It was on the big drop move, the bows of the boat flick up.
Once you're going over one of those big drops, there's not much you can do to change the result.
So it looks like the final qualifiers for the men's extreme canoe slalom final: Christian De Gianigi of Italy, Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, and then Stefan Hengst of Germany, Ben Hayward of Canada. That looked pretty uncomfortable for Ben Hayward there.
Yeah, he spent quite a while on his side there, but he was already clear of the gate, I think, which gave him...
Yeah, he knew he'd negotiated the gate okay. He just had to wait for the bombardment from the Slovenian boats to finish, and then he had a clean run down to the bottom.
Well, it's disappointing for Slovenia, but I'm sure that the crowd here will still cheer everybody on in the final.
Well, we've still got Ida Novak in the women's kayak extreme slalom final, so Slovenia still has some interest, but yeah, they've lost out in the men's final. So shortly we'll get confirmation of the finalists for the men's extreme canoe slalom. Here it is. Pedro Goncalves of Brazil will line up with bib number 1. Stefan Hengst of Germany, bib number 2. Christian De Gianigi of Italy, bib number 3. And Canada's Ben Hayward finishes that lineup. The final of the men's kayak will follow on from the women's kayak extreme slalom, which is up next. So it's been a good weekend here in Ljubljana for the third round of the World Cup. And here we're into the women's K1 final. So the sport takes a bit of a break. Everyone gets training again. And then we'll be back at the end of August with World Cup 4 in Magdeburg in Germany.
Yeah, look, a lot of people will be going home or onto training camps, re-evaluating their performances from the last 3 weekends. We've also got European and Junior and Under-23 World Championships coming up.
Yes, indeed. So here is our women's kayak final. And we're bib number 4, Daria Kuznetsova of the Russian Federation. And the Slovenians supporting Ida Novak, wearing bib number 3. Then it's Martina Wegman of the Netherlands wearing bib number 2. And then Germany's Caroline Trompeter wearing bib number 1. And in seemingly the easiest lane to get away from. Well, not a lot to choose between them, but it looks like Martina Wegman may have got the launch over everyone else in the blue boat. And it is for the Netherlands. Caroline Trompeter is the loser from there. Got squeezed out. So it's Ida Novak in second place at the moment, behind Martina Wegman.
Which up will they go for? We've already had one order change between second and third. Be interesting to see if there'll be any more.
So Martina Wegman leading the way for the Netherlands. Ida Novak still just about hanging on to second place. Then it's Caroline Trompeter of Germany. And then finally it's Daria Kuznetsova of the Russian Federation. But Ida Novak has got really disorientated on the roll and has lost the position to Germany's Caroline Trompeter. But it looks like gold is going to go to the Netherlands. Martina Wegman paddling to the finish of Caroline Trompeter.
Oh no!
Well, it's all happening in that stopper.
Oh, poor Ida. I thought she was going to get ahead of Caroline there, but
Well, it looks like Caroline Trompeter has taken the silver and Ida Novak the bronze, but I suspect there may be a little bit of looking at the video just to determine whether there's any disqualification. But certainly Daria Kuznetsova was fourth anyway, but has been eliminated for missing gate 5. But there's no doubt about the winner there, Martina Wegman of the Netherlands. It was a great start. She took the advantage and she took the gold. Yeah,
you'll see Martina will take no prisoners when she's on the water. She knows she's got to put in everything she's got. And yeah, she's super smooth and has a lot of style, so it's a great combination.
Well done to Martina, provisionally taking the gold medal here in the Women's Kayak Extreme Canoe Slalom event here at the 3rd World Cup of the season. And it looks like provisionally Caroline Trompeter of Germany taking silver, Ida Novak of Slovenia taking the bronze. But here we see Martina Wegman persisting on that start, and well, that was what gave her the edge. And Caroline Trompeter wearing bib number 1, she was the one that really lost out on the start.
Yeah, she came unstuck in a few little places there. Ida Novak's had an interesting weekend in her Slalom K1. There was a German Shepherd barking at her. I haven't looked at the footage yet, but I've heard about it from a lot of people.
It's worth looking at, actually, because I have to say there was no one else wanting to come close to their dog to try and move it away.
Yeah.
And in the upstream gate 19 down the bottom, then the dog and Ida were pretty face to face.
Yeah, it's not something we've ever seen before, I don't think. Not many people are trained for, I don't know, disabling German Shepherds. But she'll be happy with a bronze medal in the extreme, I think.
Well, this is a great move here. Watch Ida Novak there take a bit of a washing machine move on gate 5. Recovers it. And, well, that was enough to recover to take the bronze medal.
She was stuck between a stopper and a hard place there.
Well, any moment now, we will get confirmation of the results.
Well, Martina, what a great weekend for you. A final in the K1 and now a gold medal here today. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
How was it today? I mean, we just saw the highlights there. It was a pretty rough race behind you.
Yeah, I think I was pretty lucky to have a good start and get out of the carnage, which happened behind me. So, yeah, lucky to not be involved in that.
You've been doing this race for a while now. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's really good, and because I'm coming from cricketing, and because I'm doing so much slalom, it's good to represent my sponsors now, and yeah, get back into the cricket now and then.
World Championships coming up later this year. Are you excited about Extreme Slalom World Championships?
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's a little bit hard to balance the slalom and the extreme slalom cross, but yeah, it's super fun to do once you're on the water. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's a good race.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Martina Wegman of the Netherlands taking gold ahead of Caroline Trompeter of Germany and Ida Novak of Slovenia. But we are straight into the men's K1 final, and in this competition we have the 4 finalists: Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, Stefan Hengst of Germany, Christian De Dionigi of Italy, and Ben Hayward of Canada.
We've got a good mix of continents represented here, with a Brazilian and a Canadian in the mix of those Europeans. Always good to see.
Wearing bib number 4, happy as ever, Ben Hayward of Canada. And, well, if enthusiasm will get him the gold medal, then he's surely got one hand on that gold medal already. Then wearing bib number 3, Christian De Dionigi of Italy. Can he make it 4 gold medals for Italy this weekend? Then Germany's Stefan Hengst wearing bib number 2. And then for Brazil, Pedro Goncalves, better known as Pepe on the circuit, wearing bib number 1. So they all get a smooth start, actually. In fact, it's Pedro Goncalves that's a little bit squeezed out, but he battles his way back into contention.
Yeah, look, he was fighting on that left side there. Did somebody just miss gate 1?
It looks like Stefan Hengst has been eliminated. You're right, good spot there. So it is Goncalves, then De Dionigi, then Ben Hayward.
Ooh, De Dionigi going for the up left. See if that gets him any advantage, but he's still behind at this point.
So the roll gate completed successfully, but it is Goncalves leading for Brazil. Then it's Ben Hayward of Canada in the silver medal position.
Oh,
Ben
and he's gone for the tight inside line and overtaken.
Oh, how good was that?
Can he maintain the lead? He's got
And
one gate to go.
He has stolen the gold medal. That's what Extreme Canoe Slalom's all about. He has stolen it on the move. Respect to Ben Hayward of Canada. He takes the gold and he's earned that.
Good strategy.
He snatches it from under the nose of Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, who had really quite a big lead going into gate 5. And then it's bronze for Christian De Dionigi of Italy.
When you're in the lead by just that little bit, there's not much you can do once you're in the upstream to stop somebody kind of barging you aside and stealing the lead away.
Well, there we have it. There's the results. Ben Hayward of Canada takes gold ahead of Pedro Goncalves of Brazil. Christian De Dionigi takes the bronze for Italy. And then Stefan Hengst, 4th place. And, well, Ben Hayward, he certainly knows that that was a good move.
Yeah, his happiness on the start line has paid off. He's happy on the finish as well.
Well, hopefully, whilst he is getting himself out of his boat and for an interview, hopefully we'll get to see where he stole that gold medal, because that was an awesome performance.
I think that was textbook extreme slalom technique.
So there he is, Ben Hayward of Canada. Well, here's the race. And, well, if you look at Ben Hayward in the red boat, then he's squeezed out at the start. It was Goncalves of Brazil that had it his way. Hengst got caught out, missed gate 1. But at this stage, Ben Hayward was still in the bronze medal position.
Sometimes it pays off to hang back a little bit, watch what your competitors are doing, and then strike at the end.
So as they went through on the top part of the course, it was all the favourite really, Goncalves of Brazil, wearing bib number 1 there. De Dionigi playing a supporting role for Italy. And he goes for the left-hand upstream gate 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure that really paid off for him.
So then we had the roll gate. They were all cleanly through the roll gate. No one got disorientated, but this is the move. This is where the race was won. Ben Hayward in and out, and I'm not sure Pepe could actually believe what had just happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we feel about that. He got in nice and tight into gate 5, but Ben Hayward was even tighter.
Here it is. Round he goes. And there followed a little bit of a tussle on the exit to see if they could just change the order to the last downstream gate, gate 6. But it was Ben Hayward's day. Takes gold here. And Goncalves of Brazil has to settle for silver again to add to the silver he won last weekend.
Well, Ben, congratulations. You look pretty pumped there when you crossed the line. Well done.
No, thanks so much. I had a bit of a rough weekend in slalom, so this is a nice win to end the weekend.
Tell me, did you have some tactics going into this race, or is it really tactic-free?
Well, off the start, there's a massive advantage to the person starting most left, and I was starting most right, so I just figured I'd look for any opportunity I could to try and overtake people, because I'd definitely be in the trying to make up ground from behind. So yeah, it ended up working out. There were a couple good opportunities where I could sneak it, and yeah. Also, massive thanks to a teammate, Martin Stanovsky, who lent me his boat. So yeah, huge props to him, because it's a great boat and went really fast. Yeah.
It looks from outside that you guys are having so much fun on the water. Is it a fun event?
It's super fun. What's really nice with this event is that it's head-to-head, and that's something that has always been a bit missing from canoe slalom. Canoe slalom is such a beautiful sport, but you really miss that ultra adrenaline pumping energy from you see the guy that you're about to win against or not win against, and yeah, so it's great from that perspective.
Do you train for it, or is it just something you have a crack at the end of the event?
I definitely don't train at all for it. I think, honestly, doing canoe slalom helps a huge amount. Like, it's the same boat skills, same turning around the poles, same whitewater ability. So really, like, I think just trying to be a bit more aggressive and maybe getting the elbows out a bit more is really all it takes to be good at the sport, I think, yeah.
Good on you, Ben. Enjoy the gold medal.
Cool, thanks so much.
Well, he looks pretty happy there. Ben Hayward of Canada taking the final medal of this World Cup 3 here in Ljubljana in Slovenia. And that concludes the racing. What are your reflections on the racing there in the extreme slalom, Ros?
Look, Ben Hayward, he's a really strong paddler, so it didn't come down to chance, but holding back a little bit and then punching in at the end seems to be a tried and tested strategy in the extreme slalom.
Well, we'll have to watch that. The Extreme Slalom World Championships at Prague in the beginning of September, but from here in Ljubljana in Slovenia. Then thank you, Ros, for joining me, Andy Maddock in the commentary box. We'll be taking a break for a few weeks, but we'll be back with World Cup 4 in Markkleeberg in Germany, the last weekend in August. In fact, I think it's the 30th of August and the 1st of September. We'll be live on Planet Canoe with World Cup 4. Of course, then World Cup 5 the following weekend in Prague and the World Championships at the end of September. We'll see you then.